Fast forwarding through the biblical narrative, this man Abraham was indeed greatly blessed of God in his old age, and with his wife of elderly age, they miraculously have a child, Isaac. Isaac has a son, Jacob. Jacob has 12 sons who become the fathers of the 12 tribes of Israel. One of those sons, Joseph, is sold by the machination of 10 of his brothers in slavery in Egypt, but God, what they intended for evil, God intended for good, and Joseph rises to a position of power and uses his gifts and faithfulness to God and interpreting dreams to bring about redemption for the Egyptians and as well as for his brothers and family by storing up food and so that the people survive through the years of famine. But then the Hebrews, the descendants of Israel, are taken into slavery for 400 years. Eventually, God raises up Moses, sends 10 plagues, brings them the Passover, brings them miraculously out of slavery in Egypt and through the Red Sea into the wilderness of Sinai. And as we're standing at the foot of Mount Sinai, God is about to reveal, give the revelation of the Torah to Moses. But first, he gives this word and says, "You yourselves have seen what I did to the Egyptians, how I bore you up on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. Now, therefore, if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my covenant, you shall be my treasured possession among all the peoples, for all the earth is mine. And you shall be to me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation." Now, Exodus 19:6 is another key verse, one of the most important verses in the Bible, foundational for much of what follows theology of Israel and God's plan. It's just the latest recapitulation of the Abrahamic covenant. Blessed in order to be a blessing, you will be a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. A kingdom, yes, but a what kind of a kingdom? A kingdom of priests. What is a priest? Priest is an intermediary between man and God. Priests bring the prayers, the sacrifices of men before God, help to bring man close to God. Now, this word kingdom itself is interesting because if we search for this word kingdom, this in Exodus 19 is only the third time this word has appeared. It's going to appear a ton of times. Kingdom is a huge word throughout the rest of the Bible. It's going to appear a ton of times in the Old Testament, a ton of times in Greek in the New Testament. But at Exodus 19, this is only the third time it's appeared. The first time being when Nimrod built his kingdom at Babel. Now, there is a principle called the law of first mention, or the principle of first mention. It's not a rigid law. Not everybody thinks it's a valid interpretive principle and not followed all the time, but it's at least food for thought, worthy of consideration from time to time. That the first time that a word or concept appears in Scripture, it is laying the groundwork. It's if this is the first time that the Bible is introducing a word, it's however we see that word being used in its original instance is really kind of the seed for however it's going to unfold and be used throughout the rest of Scripture. So the original kingdom in the Bible was the kingdom of Babel that Nimrod built. And we know how that went. That was mankind's own plan. We don't want to be dispersed over the face of the earth. We want to make a name for ourselves. So if we settle in Babylon, we can build a big tower. And Exodus 19 is the first time that this word is used in a redemptive way, in a positive way by God himself. And so it really seems that Exodus 19:6 is something of a redemption of Babel. At Babel, mankind got the idea of making a kingdom for themselves, for their own name, in their own way, with their own knowledge of good and evil, by settling in the plain of Shinar. And that, of course, didn't work out. God dispersed them over the face of the earth. And in Exodus 19, God is saying, I've got a plan for Israel to be a kingdom, but we're going to fix the problem that went wrong at Babylon. And Babylon, it's actually the same word in Hebrew, that went wrong at Babel. And you're going to be a kingdom, but a kingdom of priests, blessed to be a blessing to all the nations of the earth. Again, just the latest iteration of the creation mandate that God's image bearing worshipers would bring his glory to the ends of the earth, this time as a kingdom of priests.